What's up guys, you got Crave here with a quick video for the upcoming Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Now Mass Effect is an epic and well-beloved RPG franchise in spite of what you may have heard about the finale of the third game or how Andromeda turned out. It's one of the high points of BioWare's catalog of games as it really shows an excellent mix of storytelling, player choice, and third-person shooter combat. It tells the story of Commander Shepard and his journey to rid the galaxy of an extinction-level event or threat. The journey is composed of visiting many planets, talking to different and interesting NPCs and companions. It also includes third-person shooting elements that reached its height in the third game. But with the Legendary Edition coming out, why should you even care? Whether you played and replayed the series or are new to the franchise, here are some reasons why you should definitely keep a close eye on this remaster. Well, it's pretty obvious that they had to put some work into the visuals. Maybe games 2 and 3, just maybe, won't need them, but the first one might need a little more love to bring it closer to what present-day games showcase. We're pretty much expecting the usual: 4K resolutions, higher textures, shaders, and HDR implementations. Now, I always see a lot of people seeing very little to no differences when looking at YouTube or Facebook content. It is possible that there's only a little change in terms of the original to the remaster, but you have to remember that web footage doesn't really do any justice to remasters or improved visuals. I don't know what else BioWare can do to showcase the improvements, but really the only way to see the difference, the real difference, is when you're playing it on a proper PC or a current gen console. And definitely, if you pair it off with a proper TV or a better TV or a good monitor, then you will definitely see the difference. Now, in terms of visual upgrades, I think this is really the way to go. After all, it is a remaster, and I've always said that if it's possible to improve the visuals or the graphics of a game, including the character models, especially like for a game like Mass Effect where character interactions are important, then that is something I can definitely get behind. Mass Effect 1 was a great introduction to the series and laid the groundwork for the worlds in games 2 and 3. It was the staging ground for the epic saga that Shepard was meant to live out. However, as time passed, some things like the visuals had shown its age and the mechanical aspects needed work. Now, we've already talked about the visuals, so let's get into, two mechanical aspects about the first game, and that's mainly the elevator scenes and Mako. Now, for the elevator scenes, they had very lengthy load times, and they were notorious even before, or at least it was something I noticed. It was made bearable or funny by the quips of companion conversations. Still, when the news ads or the discussions were over, there was usually some leftover times where you just stared at the screen waiting for the elevator sequence to finish. BioWare has cut down the waiting time, but promises to keep the banter and exchange between companions, a relevant thing. Apparently, there will be an option to cut the discussion if you want to exit the lift. Another thing they plan to improve on is the control over the Mako, or Shepard's ground unit / exploration vehicle. I'll admit it was a bit difficult, at least from memory, it was a bit difficult to control it, but part of me thought that some of those jump sequences you could do with the Mako were pretty funny. I know, it would get frustrating when you would jump and overshoot your intended destination and, plummet to your death or something like that, but it was, I guess, kind of its charm. I'm just hoping that when they improve the controls of the Mako, it strikes a decent balance on this so that the controls won't feel too stiff or limiting. As with other games who have Game of the Year or Epic Editions, all the Mass Effect titles will be accessed by a single launcher and all DLCs will be included when you purchase the Legendary Edition. This is a pretty good deal given that I didn't really get all the DLCs when Mass Effect 1, 2, or 3 came out. This is something I'm looking forward to, so at least it's all in, and I'm assuming they'll be inserting the DLCs seamlessly into the content, so it doesn't feel like you're jumping into a different story or an alternate universe timeline thing of the sorts. Now, in addition, it appears that the UI will also be modified to make it more consistent all throughout the 3 games in the series. Now, this is a welcome change if they can really just do it right, as it will make the transition from the first game to the second game and to the third game much smoother. There's one person that I'm excited for the release of this Legendary Edition, and that's my wife, because she never got to try any of the Mass Effect games. Well, she did get to try Andromeda, but she didn't think much of it, and I told her that the original trilogy was way better. Now, she got the PS4, but I don't think it was ever released on that platform. Now, I keep telling her that this is one series she should definitely check out with the Legendary Edition coming out. If Sony can pump out more PS5s, then she can also play it on that platform. Now for PC, nothing really new here, but BioWare has said that they plan to natively support ultra-wide format. While this is something PC players can do with a little tweaking, it's always best to have it automatically baked in. This is perhaps the most important part for me, but the way the adventure was crafted in the original trilogy was definitely the only way or the best way of telling Shepard's story. It really brought tension in small conversations with NPCs and excitement in large battle sequences. Heartfelt moments could be seen in important decision-making scenarios, and there were NPCs that you wanted to root for and wished you had more time to go about their backstory. BioWare has opted to retain the telling of the original trilogy and carefully tread on areas they plan to improve. So, Mass Effect's Legendary Edition, for most of it, is staying true to basically what made the Mass Effect game special and is something I can really get on board with. There are really just some games or some stories that deserve remasters and not remakes or reimaginings. I'm not one to appreciate the current trend where we have to make older stories fit more current cultures or present-day beliefs. A story should be told the way it was meant to be told. Maybe one day a reimagining of Shepard's story will happen, but I'm glad that they decided against it for the Legendary Edition. And there you have it, the reasons why I think you should keep a close eye on this edition of Mass Effect. Now take note, I didn't say pre-order, as the recent outings of BioWare haven't been great, and even well-meaning companies like CDPR can really just mess it up. Now keep a close eye on this one, and watch for the signs whether this Legendary Edition could go south, or it could really be just the passion project BioWare claims it to be. Thanks for watching this, guys, and I'll talk to you soon.